And welcome to this training video, an introduction to manual marking and internal verification. This video will cover the marker role and our requirements, the internal verifier role and our requirements, our conflict of interest policy. Please note, if you haven't already, you will need to download the additional resources required for this training. Click the link entitled Manual Marking Training Documents underneath this video. The Operational Requirements Manual. BCS advise that all markers and internal verifiers read the Operational Requirements Manual, as this video will signpost to relevant sections. Your Centre Manager should make a copy available to you. Available from the approved Centre Forum or Learning and Support Hub. Marker and internal verifier roles. To become a BCS registered marker or internal verifier at your centre, you must watch this complete video training guide and confirm to your Centre Manager when you have done so, before being permitted to undertake any marking or verification activities. You must be occupationally competent. For more information, please refer to sections 5.5 and 5.7 of the Operational Requirements Manual. Once registered, a marker is responsible for the accuracy of your own marking by following and applying the mark schemes. Required to complete marking within 10 working days of the date of the test. Required to have all your markings second marked until the Centre Manager is satisfied with your accuracy. Required to have samples of your markings second marked as requested by the internal verifier. Required to be further trained to the required standard if your marking is found to be unsatisfactory either by the internal or external verification. For more information, please refer to section 5.5 of the Operational Requirements Manual. Once registered, an internal verifier is responsible for maintaining the standards within qualifications, required to second mark 100% of all tests marked by new markers within 20 working days of the date of the test, required to second mark an additional 10% of all tests annually, required to select their own sample for second marking, responsible for discussing and agreeing on final marks with the original marker. For more information, please refer to section 5.7 of the Operational Requirements Manual. Conflict of interest. In order to avoid a conflict of interest, a marker is not permitted to mark the tests of any learner with whom they have been involved in the teaching of the unit being tested. This does not apply to internal verifiers who may second mark or internally verify the tests of learners with whom they have been involved in the teaching of the unit being tested. A marker and internal verifier must not have any involvement in the marking or verification of tests for any learner known personally to them. For more information, please refer to section 6 of the Operational Requirements Manual. Test banks. Everything you need to deliver and mark a manual test is included in the test bank, downloaded from the approved Centre Forum. The test bank includes test papers, work files, answer files, mark sheets, marking guidance, marking philosophy. Accessing a test bank requires an additional password which can be obtained from BCS. Please contact the customer support team on centresupport@bcs.uk. Marking. Before undertaking any marking or verification activity, BCS recommends markers and internal verifiers. Undertake the tests yourself. Create a marked example of each test. Familiarize yourself with the marking guides and marking philosophy, which are available in each test file downloaded from the approved Center forum. For more information, please refer to Section 20 of the Operational Requirements Manual. Marking philosophy and marking guides. The marking philosophy is the same for all tests and provides guidance on the principles which should be applied when marking BCS tests. For example, learners must not be penalized twice for the same mistake, i.e., if the learner loses a mark for entering a number incorrectly in a spreadsheet test, a subsequent question asks for a formula which includes the cell with the incorrectly entered number. As long as the learner entered the formula correctly, they would not be penalized for the final answer being incorrect. If a learner's work is lost or becomes corrupted and there is no evidence that a task was carried out, marks cannot be awarded. The marking guides are specific to each test and provide detail of what is expected for marks to be awarded. They also provide examples of where marks may be lost. However, this is not an exhaustive list. Marking. Do's and don'ts. All tests are marked from the worked files. You would not mark from the printout because it is not possible to identify all tasks correctly. Electronic records are required for audit. Care must be taken not to oversave the worked files, as this will change the timestamp which is required to verify the date and time the learner sat the test and the duration of the test. BCS recommend you save a copy of the files and mark from these, deleting them afterwards. You should check the start time of the test and compare this with the time the last worked file was saved to ensure the test was completed within the allotted time. If a test goes over the allotted time, then the test is automatically failed. All marks must be agreed between the marker and the internal verifier. If you cannot agree on the marks, discuss with the center manager, ask BCS for assistance. Mark sheets. Mark sheets are provided for each test within the test file downloaded from the approved Center forum. Each test has its own unique mark sheet. Mark sheets must be completed in full with the learner's details, test details, and comments added to each question, for which 0 or half marks have been added. The internal verification or second marking must also be clearly recorded on the mark sheet. Manual marking states of marks. When marking tests for application units, there are 3 states for marks. However, when marking improving productivity using IT tests, there are only 2 states, 0 or 1. Either the learner has completed the task correctly, or they haven't. Improving productivity using IT tests comprise 2 sections. Learners must pass both sections in order to pass the test. When uploading the results to BCS via the approved Center forum, you will upload the lower of the 2 marks. Marking examples. The following are some examples of marking a word processing level 2 test. The task the learner was asked to complete will be detailed at the start of each example. Please open the following documents from the word processing folder within the manual marking training document zip file. These will be referred to during the examples. Information sheet.doc, springgarden.doc, plants.doc, letter.doc, preview.pdf. Learner Task 1. Save the information sheet.doc using the new file name springgarden.doc. Marking instruction. By opening the file information sheet.doc and comparing it with springgarden.doc, you can see that the text is similar, although the formatting is very different. Therefore, you can award the mark. Marks. 1. Learner Task 2. Find the title text Gardening for Amateurs and format it to uppercase. Marking instruction. Although the task implies that the learner should use the Change Case tool, we have no way of proving if they did, or if the text was just retyped in capitals. Therefore, we have to award the mark. If there had been a spelling mistake in the text, we would have known that the learner did not use the correct tool and therefore would have awarded 0 marks. Marks. 1. Learner Task 3. Change the spacing to 6 point after each paragraph. Marking instruction. By looking at the springgarden.doc and using Shift plus F1, you can see that the paragraph spacing has been applied before, not after the text. The learner has used the correct tool, but in the wrong way. Mark half. Learner Task 4. Apply automatic numbering to the paragraph starting bed in new and ending with the spring and summer months. Marking instruction. The learner has used the correct tool but not achieved the correct outcome. Automatic numbering has only been applied to 3 points, not 4. The last one has been missed. Remember to check that the learner has used the automatic numbering tool rather than typing a number at the beginning of each point. If the wrong tool was used, this would be awarded 0 marks. Mark half. Learner Task 5. Carry out a mail merge. Marking instruction. The learner has already been awarded 2 marks for using the correct mail merge and data source documents and has now been asked to insert the correct mail merge fields in the correct layout. The learner has not accurately placed the fields to replicate the positioning of the name and address on each of the merged letters to match the original merged document, letter.doc. Mark half. The following are some examples of marking and improving productivity using IT Level 2 test. The task of the learner was asked to complete will be detailed at the start of each example. Please open the following documents from the Improving Productivity folder within the Manual Marking Training Documents zip file. These will be referred to during the examples. trainingideas.ppt, Somerville Training.ppt, managementbz.ppt. Learner Task 1. Make changes to the Somerville training presentation and save it as management delivery, adding to your initials at the end of the file name. Marking instruction. Although the learner has added his initials, he has not used the correct file name. Mark 0. Learner Task 2. Insert the 2 pages from Training Ideas at the end of the working file, Somerville Training, now saved as Management BZ. Marking instruction. By opening Somerville Training and Management BZ, you can see the learner has inserted the correct slides. Mark 1. Learner Task 3. Insert the company logo stlogo.jpg into the master slide so it appears on every slide. Marking instruction. By going to view the slide master, you can see that the company logo has been inserted into the master slide. Mark 1. Learner Task 4. Delete the What do managers need slide. Marking instruction. Although the text has been deleted, the slide is still there. Mark 0. Learner Task 5. Draw 3 circles on the key elements slide, one containing the text Management, another the text Skills, and a third the text Training. Marking instruction. To earn 1 mark, there is a lot for the learner to do correctly. However, 3 circles have been drawn and the correct text entered into each one. Mark 1. Learner Task 6. Insert the date into the footer to update automatically to all pages except the title page. Marking instruction. You can see that the date is showing in the footer. However, by going to Insert, then Header and Footer, the Don't Show on Title slide box has not been ticked. Mark 0. Learner Task 7. Create a clustered column chart based on the data in trends.xls displaying a legend. Marking instruction. The learner has successfully created a clustered column chart and applied the correct data to it. To check the data used to populate the chart is correct, double-click in the chart area, select Edit Existing, and compare this with the data in the Trends file. To check the chart type, right-click in the chart area, select Chart Object, then Edit. Right-click again and select Chart Type to show it is a clustered column chart. Mark 1. Learner Task 8. Change the background color of the graph's plot area to a color of your choice without affecting the slide design. Marking instruction. The color has been applied to the entire chart rather than just the plot area. Mark 0. Learner Task 9. Fill the background of the text box with a color of your choice and add a suitable border. Marking instruction. The learner has previously been awarded a mark for adding a text box with the words 100% increase from last year added to it. Although a solid background fill has been applied, there is no border. This should be checked by right-clicking in the text box and selecting Format Shape. The learner could have applied a border in the same color as the fill, so it would not be obvious just by looking at it. Mark 0. Thank you for watching this video. Please confirm to your center manager that you have completed your viewing. If you have any queries, please contact your center manager or the BCS customer support team. Email centresupport@bcs.uk. Telephone 01793 417 530.